Antar felt remorse and said, I made a mistake in what I did to him. Then he decided to make real weapons for everyone. And the first to get them was Ren. Ren told him the specifications he wanted, and things finally got back to normal. But on the other hand, the hero Arius was organizing a competition to select new members for his team. Many flocked to apply, but he didn't accept anyone, comparing them all to Ren, and anyone weaker than him immediately rejected him. The girl who works with him tried to convince him not to compare, but he got angry with her, causing her to step back with fear and say, I'm sorry, do what you think is right. When I left, Arius took a cursed ring out of his desk drawer and said in a low voice, I will not leave you. I will kill you soon. Ren meant that. Meanwhile, Ren had returned to the Union to ask about the fate of the people arrested. The clerk told him all the details, and he shook his head and said, okay, but obviously, he was sad, because he didn't want them to be imprisoned. Sora and Rona noticed this, so they tried to entertain him and took him for a walk. Everyone felt happy and fun, and Ren bought them some food, which they were very happy with. He then asked them what kind of power he gained from hiring them, but he replied that he did not know yet. The girls felt frustrated, but he gently wiped their heads, so they rejoiced again and happily resumed their outing. But as they were returning home, the son of the governor of the region suddenly appeared. He saw Sora and Rona and liked how they looked, so he asked for their names. After they answered, he boldly told them, I want you to be my servants. Everyone was shocked, and no one understood what was going on. Ren came forward and asked him angrily, and who are you, and what do you want from them? The boy replied arrogantly, I am the son of the ruler of this state, and what I want, I get by force. Anger flared in Ren's eyes, and he said to him firmly, you won't take one of them. The boy became very angry and ordered his guards to attack Ren and take the girls by force. But Ren didn't give them any chance. He started smashing them one by one, setting an example for everyone. The governor's son got very angry and said to Ren, if you don't hand me the girls, I'll kill all the people who are here. Ren looked at him in shock and said, what does it have to do with it? Are you out of your mind? How will you kill your flock? The arrogant boy laughed. I'm free, I do what I want. If the girls don't bring me now, I'll kill them all. Ren was confused and did not know how to save these innocents. Sora and Rona suggested helping him, but he refused, fearing people would discover their truth as fairies. Ren was standing hesitantly, but suddenly, a new spell appeared in his mind due to his contract with Sora and Rona. Ren controlled the spell, creating a huge number of fireballs and firing them at all the soldiers, saving people in just a few seconds. The governor's son was shocked and could not believe what was happening in front of him. Then Rin lifted him by the neck and said sharply, if I see you again, this will be your end. Terrified, the boy gathered his soldiers and fled the entire place. Then Sora and Rona warmly thanked Ren, and they were very happy. The townspeople approached and thanked him as well, making him feel proud. But suddenly, an old woman walked up to him and whispered, you must flee the city immediately. Ren was surprised, but soon realized why. The old woman told him that the ruler is completely corrupt, covering up his son's crimes. The boy would kidnap any girl he liked, take her to the palace to assault her, then torture her and make her his servant. If anyone tried to file a complaint against him, the knights would cancel it, so he could continue to do whatever he wanted with impunity. The situation in the city was completely rotten. Ren returned to Tanya and Kanedi and told them everything. Anger flared in Tanya's heart and she said, we must burn the palace with all in it. But Ren stopped her saying, we have to think rationally first. We can't destroy the city, and I can't do anything that puts you in danger or takes you away from me. Ren wanted to save all the townspeople, but he was also worried about the girls and wanted to protect them. He thought of escaping them from the city, but they rejected the idea. Sora said to him, don't be afraid for us. Let us help you. We know you want to protect us, but we love the people of this city, and we want to save them too. Ren was moved by their words and was finally convinced. On the other hand, the prince in his palace was very angry at what Ren had done. He summoned the cavalry commander, ordered him to capture Ren immediately, and then offered him a huge bribe to facilitate the task. After that, his office bell rang, and one of the enslaved girls entered. He started beating her violently, while she could do nothing but cry. He enjoyed humiliating her. The next day, Ren went to the cavalry to file a complaint against the governor's son. But the girl who worked there was shocked by his words, and did not write anything. Before Ren could say more, a group of riders appeared behind him, and one said, we heard everything. It was just a simple fight. nothing more. Ren became angry and realized that everyone was complicit in this corrupt circle. But in the corner of the place, there was a girl eavesdropping on the conversation, and she seemed to be hiding something. When they left the guild, the girl went out and followed them, and then apologized for the actions of the cavalry. She told them, "I know that the ruler is corrupt, and most of the knights work for him because of money. Everyone is traitors, except for me and a few loyal individuals. I want to restore the dignity of the city and the union, and I need your help to make that happen." Ren was suspicious of her intentions, but Kennedy told him, "I feel like she's a good girl." The girl introduced herself saying, "My name is Stella." Ren reached out to her and said, "Okay, let's start working together." Tears streamed from Stella's eyes from joy. Everyone began to draw up a plan to restore the cavalry guild and capture all the traitors. They spread a rumor among the people that there is evidence hidden in one of the old warehouses that can prove the betrayal of the ruler. When the knights heard this, they decided to head to the warehouse at night to get rid of any evidence against him, which was exactly what Ren wanted. Once inside the warehouse, Ren began to eliminate them one by one. Some tried to flee through the back door, but it was locked with ice to prevent them from escaping. Ren used the glove Antar had made for him and began to eliminate the cavalry, but their commander was very strong and was able to repel his attacks easily. Stella asked Ren to let her fight him, and he agreed. She walked up to him and said, "Give up. You have no escape now." The commander got angry and shouted, "In your dreams!" and then punched her to the ground. Ren worried about her, but she got up again, and the anger was evident in her eyes. She attacked him with full force and managed to defeat him. Thus, Ren and his friends triumphed, and the cavalry guild was restored. All that was left with them was the governor and his son. When the prince learned what had happened, and that Stella had defeated the cavalry commander, he realized that he had lost all his support. He burst out in anger and began beating one of the enslaved girls, as if it were just something to empty his anger into. But suddenly, a mysterious person wearing a black cloak appeared, sitting in the window, and said to him in a quiet voice, "You know who will completely ruin your life? It's Ren Schrode. If you don't get rid of him now, he will take everything from you, and your life will end in prison, shunned with no one on your side." The prince backed down and asked, "Who are you? And why did you come here?" The mysterious man smiled and threw a cursed ring at him, then said, "This is a cursed tool that kills its target immediately. Take it, and take Ren quickly." The prince looked at the ring. His features began to fill with greed, and he was overwhelmed with the joy of revenge. The prince looked out the window but did not find the mysterious man, as if he had disappeared in a flash. He felt that a catastrophe was imminent. At the time, the girl who had been tortured by the prince was being held in her cell, barely able to move from the intensity of the beating, and she prayed to God that someone would come to her rescue. Indeed, Stella arrived with her soldiers at the palace gate to arrest the ruler and his son for their corruption. But palace guards refused to let them in, and mobilized large numbers of soldiers to confront them. But Kennedy and Tanya were on the lookout for these soldiers. As the prince watched the battlefield, he was eagerly awaiting Ren's appearance so he could use the cursed ring to kill him. The atmosphere was tense, and everything suggested that things would soon turn upside down. Meanwhile, Ren arrived at the palace using the camouflage spell done by Sora and Rona, and then asked them to sneak into the palace and find the whereabouts of the captives to rescue them. The girls used a monitoring spell and indeed were able to locate the prisoners, but were surprised by the presence of a very dangerous entity in one of the palace prisons. Sora said anxiously to him, "Rin, there's a very strong energy in one of the cells. It seems to be one of the strongest categories like us." Ren answered her firmly, "Free the captives and save them. I'm going to go to the power supply and see what's going on there." The girls were scared, but he reassured them, "Don't worry, I'll come back safely." Then go to the unknown power source. When he opened the door, he found a girl trapped inside a cell, visible marks of torture on her body. Ren broke down the cell door and rushed towards her to help her. The girl was terrified and didn't know how to act, but he calmly told her, "Don't worry, I'm here to save you." The girl broke down in tears and fell on his lap. It turned out later that her name was Nina, and she was one of the most powerful beings of all time. She told her story to Ren, crying, "I used to live in a peaceful village, and everyone loved me, but the prince came one day and threatened me that he would torture all the people of my village in front of me and kill them if I did not surrender myself to him. I had no choice, so I put on the bondage bracelet and became a prisoner with him, subjected to all forms of torture." Ren was angry and moved by her words, then firmly told her, "Don't worry, you'll be freed now." But Nina backed down, saying, "You can't. The bracelet has a very dangerous spell on it, and if you try to remove it, you may die." Ren smiled confidently and said, "Don't worry, I'll deal with it." Nina surrendered to him, and Ren began to untie the bracelet. But as soon as he touched him, The spell unleashed violent electric shocks that swept through his entire body. Nina shouted, "Stop! You're going to die." But do you think Ren will back down after everything that happened to her? He gathered all his strength, focused his full energy, and finally, he managed to break the bracelet and save her. Nina was stunned by what he had done and thanked him with tears of joy. At that moment, the battle outside the palace was raging. The cavalry was fighting the guards, and Kennedy and Tanya managed to eliminate half of the guards alone. But the large numbers were still a threat. Some guards tried to use the captives as hostages, but Sora and Rona quickly confronted them after moving all the abductees to safety. Meanwhile, the governor walked into the prince's room and asked him, "What's going on?" The prince smiled maliciously and said, "Don't worry, just a bunch of insects, I'll wipe them out myself. You run away and leave them to me."